Hello and welcome to the first brand new version of Game On Weekly. I'm Simon, Laurie will pop up in a bit and review Sims 4, but first our top story. How much should games cost? Sounds like a simple question, but it's not an easy one to answer. Although if you are a games company, say Bungie, and you make a game and give it a stripper's name like Destiny, then it seems the answer to that question is simply as much as humanly possible. 55 quid it costs, and that is unfortunately the least astounding number. It costed a reported $500 million to make. If you spend $500 million making a game, I need it to blow my mind. I wanted it to do all sorts of stuff, including bad like an old fireplace. $500 million is more money than Manchester City have spent on players for 5 years. It's more money than Estonia has. You might be thinking, well, there you have it, that's why it's so expensive. That's just straight market logic right there. But it isn't, because the cost of games compared to their price means that games companies actually have to sell way fewer units than you'd expect. Bungie only need to sell 5.5 million copies at that price to make their money back. Cooking Mama sold 5.5 million copies. This isn't new though. Grand Theft Auto 5 needed only to sell 6.8 million units. They actually sold 33 million. But this touches on another point. Popularity. Is the high price of games one of the reasons they don't sell as many copies as, say, films sell tickets? Well, for example, Avatar cost around $300 million to make, as did GTA 5. Avatar sold 97 million cinema tickets. GTA 5 sold a third of that at 33 million units. The only difference really is that GTA 5 cost 4 times what a cinema ticket costs. Like all mediums, the creators of the blockbuster end of the scale rely on the fanaticism of the audience, plays off it willfully to get you to stay hooked, denying content behind paywalls, paying for prologues and demos. They treat us the worst, and yet, like Marvel films, we can't get enough. Loads of people watched the last 2 Spider-Man films. Were they good? Not really, but it was Spider-Man, and that's enough, me included, to watch the films and get the game and dress up. Oh, dress up. Who said dress up? That'd be creepy. But what can we gather from all this? Well, for one thing, there does seem to be a serious markup on games. And it isn't surprising. These are big businesses, companies, owned by corporations. Their job is profit, and you only get profit by widening the gap between how much you spend making a thing and how much you charge people to have the thing. But is the thing, in this case our friendly neighbourhood stripper Destiny, any good? It's alright, quite good even. But is it worth not eating this week?
So, welcome to this, the inaugural version of our review section, and this time we're going to be looking at Sims 4. A quick bit of housekeeping before we get to the virtual housekeeping. We won't be doing scores at the end of our reviews. This is mostly because we think picking an arbitrary number to stand in for a series of hopefully well-considered opinions feels wrong, and also because it's much easier for us to just tell you whether you should play the thing or not. So that's why this section is called Play or Nay, Laziness. So let's get down to business, or down to woohoo in the Simlish. Is The Sims 4 worth playing? Well, let's start with this. Do you have a family? Do you have a husband, a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, kids? Do you have friends? Do you sometimes smile at the woman who makes you coffee in the morning? Have you ever had contact, physical, emotional, or otherwise, with another living thing? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then congratulations, you have a life. You should play that. Because The Sims 4 is basically that, but the people in it aren't you, so you care about them a lot less. I'm obviously being facetious and sort of borderline antisocial. The Sims actually fulfills a lot of the nesting, voyeuristic and sadistic needs of the modern human in one handy package. It's kind of this human zoo where you guide a band of little people through their everyday lives like a benevolent god, or you turn spiteful and kill them all by setting their houses on fire like an actual god. For this latest entry, EA and Maxis have smartened up some of the systems. For one thing, Sims now have emotions, just like all real humans, except David Cameron. So some days your Sim will just wake up grumpy for no explicable reason, or they'll just be suspiciously jubilant, probably having an affair or something. It's a simple twist to the established formula that means that while you won't see your Sim curled up in the corner racked with existential dread like the cynic in you really wants to see, it does add some new wrinkles to gameplay and new opportunities when the volatile emotions of your Sims are thrown together. Sims can also now multitask, which means that all the crap jobs like exercising or actually taking a crap can be done at the same time as something else. Just don't combine exercise and excrement, because when the shit hits the treadmill, you lose your membership at the gym. But the major issue with The Sims 4 is that it's buggy as hell and really lacks polish. And sure, there's this sort of kooky charm to watching your Sims have a meltdown as they get trapped inside like an unwitting Julian Assange, but when the game crashes and you lose hours of progress, it's not so charming anymore. It's no longer a web activist, it's just wanted for questioning by the Swedish authorities. So the long and the short of it is, should you play The Sims 4? Well, if you've got a little bit of patience to weather the rough patches, and you've got this kind of overwhelming desire to watch a bunch of pretend people eat and sort of babble at each other, then you should probably just watch Celebrity Big Brother. Or, you know, you could play The Sims 4 if you like The Sims. Or you could play an old Sims game and take care of the people that you've actually spent time raising. Or have you forgotten about them already? You fickle